So this is the new Kinesis Tripster ATR V2, and as the name suggests, it's an updated version of the ATR, which has been around since 2012. Now, obviously people have been riding inappropriate bikes far from civilization for a long time, but the ATR was one of the early bikes in the modern adventure and gravel riding scene, which currently is growing and growing. ATR stands for Adventure, Tour and Race, and we reviewed the original ATR back in 2014 and it did really well. It was our frame set of the year. I liked it so much that I bought the test frame, and it's still my go-to bike for long distance riding, winter miles. I've commuted on it, I've done all-axes on it, I've ridden it all the way across the country, I've raced cyclocross on it. It really is, it's a super versatile frame set. It's brilliant. So here I am with the version 2. And time has passed, so what's changed in 5 years? Well, disc brakes have become more and more common. The original ATR was disc specific, of course, and road discs weren't a big thing back then. The frame had a post mount disc above the seat stay like you'd find on a mountain bike. The original fork wasn't even post mount, it was IS mount, which was the standard before that. Both front and rear wheels were quick release, just normal quick release disc wheels. Now, it's 2017 and disc brakes on road bikes are predominantly flat mount standard, and that's what we have here. Also, that means that the rear caliper moves onto the chainstay. It's inside the rear triangle there. It's out of the way of stuff like your mudguard stays and your rack if you're going to fit one of those. Kinesis sell this bike as frame only, so you can spec your own fork. This one's one that Kinesis make. The ATR has adopted 12mm through axles, front and rear, for this bike. Most disc wheel sets that land in the road.cc office come set up like that, standard these days. So the rear dropout is interchangeable. So if you want to run a quick release at the back, then you can, or you can spec a quick release front fork. The frame itself is still titanium, of course. It's slightly heavier than the original, a slightly heavier build. It's a custom tube set specifically for this bike because Kinesis think it's likely to get more time off road, and it's more designed for that. So the bottom bracket has been raised slightly, and the clearance of the frame has been increased. The weight is increased a bit, so our 60cm frame is just over 2 kilos, whereas the original bike was just under. That means there's a bit more metal in it, so we'll see whether that affects the ride. Other things, there's a third bottle cage mount under here, like under the down tube. That's useful for increasing your water capacity if you're going somewhere remote or carrying a tool bottle or fuel for a stove. And Kinesis have flattened off the bottom of the top tube here. That means that if you fit a frame bag, it's a bit more stable, and also it means shouldering the bike is more comfortable, if you have to carry it on your big adventure. All the cables and the hoses are now routed internally. So that means there's less chance of cables getting mucky, and it means you're less likely to snag a hose on something. The old ATR could take some decent sized tyres. The stated limit was 40mm. I squeezed some bigger tyres than that in it. The V2 has increased that to 45 or 40 with mudguards, but it's also designed to work with 650B wheels. Again, 650B is a really old standard, but it wasn't really on the radar when the original frame set was released. So 650B means you get a smaller wheel and then you can fit a bigger tyre for the same effective wheel size. This bike's got Renault's new ATR carbon disc wheels and a 650B, and it's running Schwalbe's new 40mm G1 speed tyres. They're actually measuring up a bit bigger than that, they're 41mm. The extra air in the tyre means you can run them softer for more comfort, but we found that the 30mm G1 speed is really a very fast tyre, even at lower pressures, so you get lots more comfort without really sacrificing any speed. Brilliant. The ATR will take up to a 50mm tyre in 650B, so you can fit things like WTB's 47mm Horizon tyre, or a more aggressive mountain bike tyre if you're heading off-road. I've still got the old ATR, of course, so we're well set up to do a back-to-back test of the old and of the new. So to do that, we've built the bike up with a similar group set. It's a SRAM Force 1 group set running a single ring at the front. This one's got a 42-tooth chain ring and an 11-36 cassette. So sacrificing some fast gears, but it's very similar to the setup on the original bike, and to be honest, it's rarely been a problem. The rest of the components just stuff out of the shed, really, with the exception of these fun bars. The original bike's running Ritchie VentureMax flared bars at the moment, but these 50cm wide bars should be better for control off road, and also means there's more room to fit something like a bar roll if you're going bike packing. So that is the Kinesis ATR V2. The frame set is £1,850. It's available in sizes from 48 to 63 centimetres, and we'll be giving it a full test, of course. If you've got any comments or any questions about this bike, stick them below, we'll get them answered. And don't forget to subscribe for more like this on Road.cc. Cheers.